Ha ha ha. Well, if it isn't Godzilla and Kong, my two worthy adversaries. Now, if you'll excuse me before we do our deadly matchup, I'm gonna eat this piece of candy.
Wait, what? Candy? Where'd you get candy? MechaGodzilla, you're a robot. You can't even eat. Yeah, you can't even chew anything.
Well, it doesn't hurt to try, does it?
I don't think you're our worthy adversary anymore. Yeah, honestly, I'd rather fight Ghidorah than you.
Hey, Ichi was a jerk. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another figure review. My name is Matthew, and today we are taking a look at the what might be a very interesting released in the Playmates' now MonsterVerse figure lineup. Today we are taking a look at I think the last figure that they released in the Godzilla vs. Kong line before it was rebranded and refurbished into the MonsterVerse line. The Playmates MonsterVerse MechaGodzilla with the lethal Proton scream. That's right. I finally got my hands on him for a pretty good price, honestly. And honestly, I'm digging it, but let's go over my thoughts, shall we? So, for any longtime viewers of the channel, you may remember back in May of 2022 where I reviewed the original MechaGodzilla with Heath. Newsflash, this is a 100% remold of that figure, so basically nothing from the detail has been changed. Yeah, nothing of the details been changed. But what has been changed are the colors of it. So first we're going to briefly start with the head. We're gonna the two beady eyes are obviously painted red, which is pretty dang sweet. And it's overall casted in a very darker silver plastic, which keep in mind this is meant to recreate when he's in like the whole apex base and he's shooting the proton scream at the skullcrawler, which if you didn't know, that's actually what it's based on because it is a darker lit scene, so this perfectly matches it because he was outside in Hong Kong, so it really wouldn't make sense. So, but yeah, this is kind of what he's based on, and let me just say, I'm digging it. Although I definitely do think that there are some things that they could have done. For example, you remember me pointing out these two little eyes? Yeah, that's all the paint. Yeah, look. Look at the entire body. Everything, well, I mean, I guess that counts as paint? Kind of. I mean, it's more of a stamp than anything. Cat fur. But that is literally all of it. That is literally all the paint. I'm not joking. There is no other color variety. I mean, it's fine, but especially for a $10 figure, but it's not really like I'm gonna save this more so for the comparison, but you'll see that with the original, um it has a bit more paint variety. Yeah, it's very subtle, but it's definitely, you know, still more. You have the shiny dry brushing of silver and some red spots right here. Well, on the Battle Mecha Godzilla, it's nowhere to be found. I mean, maybe the dry brushing is there, but damn, because of the color of the body, I really cannot tell. But moving forward with the detail, it's honestly pretty dang sweet still. Because it shares the same mold, it's very accurate to the movie with a lot of like mechanical detail. And I think out of all three of like Godzilla, Kong, and Mechagodzilla, he's definitely the most detailed. I mean, of course, he's a cyborg. Robots might be more detailed in a lot of circumstances than heck, even organic animals, so I guess it makes sense. So yeah, you got like all the different kind of details with the pistons and stuff, all that fancy jazz, especially that one particular area. But of course, you got like the little rib cage kind of poking through, kind of have like little rectangular area bits. I mean, it's pretty well done. Uh, the hip pads or leg pads? No, those would be nah. I'm confusing myself. And shoulder pads, pretty well done. And of course, the mouth, the cannon isn't there, sadly. But I mean, it is what it is. And of course, let's go ahead and talk about it. The drill. You thought I was going to talk about that. Well, don't worry, we're getting to that. The drill is pretty sweet, along with that long segmented tail that has the same details up until it gets a little bit minute and, right there. But it's overall pretty sweet detail. And then we come to the dorsal fins. The dorsal fins are literally beautiful on this thing. I love the color choice, and even though MechaGodzilla's dorsal fins never lit up in the movie when he did his Proton scream, at least I don't remember them lighting up. I think they did maybe glow. No, they definitely didn't glow because they were like primarily silver, and then they had the red tips over them. This is just completely gorgeous. You shine a light through this thing, and it'll just look amazing. But of course, there's like this segment to here, and then from this segment to here. So this is honestly amazing, and to be frank, I'm digging this a lot. So yeah, a lot of the kind of chest details kind of go over, and yeah, that's really all the details I have to point out about this guy. Again, he's a very simplistic, not simplistic, not too much going on. Arms, thing like that, feet kind of look like Godzilla's, a bit more webby and spread out, but again, it's a remold of a previous figure I've already reviewed, so, this is still rather good in the detail department and sculpt. Can't really say so much about paint. I feel like this should have been more. I like the translucent plastic, but paint is normally judged on a completely different category altogether, not just conjoined with sculpt, so don't know how to feel about that one. I mean, it's fine. I can give it a pass. So, next, let's go over the articulation. And again, because it's a remold, you expect the same exact posability, but let's say you're new to this figure. The jaw can obviously open and close. There is no head articulation, even though there's a seam line, the spines lock it into place, especially because it's plugged in on the body on a big square peg like Godzilla was. So you wouldn't been able to get any head rotation, even if you wanted to. You just would break it right off. The shoulders have swivel hinges, so you can kind of go up about that far, down about that far. Can pretty much rotate and can actually spin inside the socket, which is pretty cool. Do keep in mind that the shoulder flaps, shoulder pads, are made of a slightly flexible material, so they won't get in the way too much, although when you try to rotate the shoulder up, you will receive some hindrance. If we go over here to the legs, they can spread out. Again, kind of ratchets. They're not exactly ratchets. They're more like soft versions of ratchets. So you have one click, two clicks. They kind of click in, not too much, but can kick back about that far, forward about that far, and can swivel like that. Knee, bend at the knee, really solid too. I like how tight it is. And a pretty free swivel at the foot. Same on each side. No, there's not any elbow or wrist articulation, and definitely nothing at the waist. The tail has one big ball joint at the base of it, and nothing at the other sections of the tail. Even though it does look like there's a bendy wire in there, I assure you there's not. And if you try to bend this, you're probably going to end up ripping the spines off of it because it is glued in there.